take us through a day of what do y'all do on a typical day of gator hunting? The show
you
kind of doesn't.
You don't have enough time right here to sit down and tell you.
It obviously looks like you get up early, but
a day on the water with us. It starts off at 4 a.m. in the morning, and the reason why we started off so early is that we want to have a gator in our boat at first light. After that, it's just nonstop. And not only that, you want to get up early, it's because the heat. It's 100-degree weather out there. It's really hot. It's humid. So you don't want to let them alligators in that heat. You want to get them in the cool as fast as you can, and you want to get your work done. Because if you start late, you're going to end up all day up there in the swamp. So not only that, we like to take care of business early, and you don't want to let the alligator on the line no longer than it needs to be on the line.
Right.
You know, so we do respect to what we do. So we like to get out there early, and it's not only to be out there early, it gets hot out there, and it's a lot of hard work. So it's not just a joy ride on the water. It's a lot of hard work.
Basically, we get up at 4, get all our gear ready. By the time we get all our gear ready, we make it to the first line. The first light's coming up, and the work starts. Like I said, you harvest alligator, put them in the boat, run to the next line, check line, line after line. After you harvest run all your lines, harvest all your gators, get back to the launch, load all these alligators into the truck or a utility trailer, bring it to our buyer, do your thing at the buyer, come back home, get all your baiting all ready, back again for the next day, wash your boats, clean everything up, clean all your gear, prepare your gear for the next day. So it's a lot of work all day long. You don't stop.
It's like being in a wet desert. I mean, you constantly you gotta keep your body hydrated all the time, because if you don't, you're gonna die out there. It's really, really hot. I mean, if you don't put food in you, or you don't keep yourself hydrated, you're not gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? It gets that hot because you're pulling in 40 to 60 alligators a day in a boat. I mean, you constantly working. Some days, and some days you'll go out there and you'll have 14, 15 alligators.
Some days you might only have 2.
Yeah. So
scratch.
So then when you don't have anything, when you fish that area out, let's just say 2 days it might last. You got to pull all that. If you have 100 lines out, you got to pull all them lines out and start all over again.
A new area.
Right. Yeah. So it's not, it looks fun. It's fun, but it's a lot of work that comes in with alligator fishing.
And is there any tribal traditions or any things that you guys do, being the only Native American gator hunters out there?
They said we don't realize it, but when we're watching the show, we realize the things we do different than other guys. Like, well, we don't really realize it's part of our culture, the reason we do this stuff, our tribal ways that we was taught. You know what I'm saying? So us, it feels natural.
Right.
But as another audience, as somebody that don't know our lifestyle or don't do it like we do, they pick it out and they tell us, hey, y'all, I see how y'all hang your lines different. Y'all hang your lines lower to the water, or the baits y'all use, the hooks y'all use is totally different, and the trees y'all pick and the stuff like that. That's just part of our tribe. That's the way we was taught. That's the techniques we know.
Right.
And we notice it now because we watch others do it on the show, and we like, man, they doing it wrong, but not knowing they was taught different. Their lifestyle is different. They're not part of the Native American tribe we are. You know what I'm saying? So that goes to show we didn't realize it because it's natural for us. You know?
And there's a lot of stuff that we can't talk about. That's sacred.
Right.
You know that I was asked not to talk about. Well, you know how they go. Yes. You know, there's not everything that we can show and tell, because that's, I don't know. That's for us to know.
Our beliefs.
You know, that's our beliefs, and that stays with us. So if I do it, I won't tell them that I'm doing it. But there's some things like, hanging our bait this far from the water. That was one thing that I was kind of taught. Some people said, "RJ, why you said that? Why you let them feed?" But it wasn't our people that said that. It was the other people. Other people that asked me about it. The reason why I said it, because it's history. History is to show what other people do from around the world. So I did show that, and also the smart stick. I call it the smart stick, but it's not named the smart stick. It's called another word in our tongue. So a smart stick is a stick about 6 inches long and about a little bit bigger than my finger. And a long time ago, they didn't have hooks. So what they do, they would weave some bait on it, and they would hang it out of a tree. And then once the gator swallows it, it goes into the gut. And then once it takes off, it turns sideways. That's it. Then you take a little stick and you stick it down their throat, and you can take your stick back. start all over again. So little techniques like that, you know. And not only that, we use big baits to catch. That way we don't catch the small alligators. And I don't care if you hang your bait 4 feet up. They say you hang your baits high, you won't catch small alligators. That's not true. A 4-foot alligator is going to go 4 feet up. So, you know, so you hang it this low, the big alligator is going to come out there and catch you because he don't want to be seen and he don't want to make no noise. Little bitty techniques like that, you know, that we was taught. We pass some of it down to TV, but we don't pass it all down because that's some things that's sacred that we cannot do. So, but we enjoy it, and it's a lot of work.
Well, and so far this season, you guys have mentioned that you're now hunting back on your tribal lands.
Yeah, well, it's they say tribal lands is actually back home. I mean, it's still state land, but how you said, state-owned land is just, still open to the public. I mean, it's not just because we're on tribal land, only us could fish it. Because actually, that's why we said now we back. Because the past 5 to 7 years, other fishermen had it. We couldn't fish on it. It's because the other fishermen had it. We had lost the bid. You got a bid on it and everything like that. And they had picked it up, scooped it up, and they was fishing on it. But now this year we got it back. We go back on it, and we taking care of it and doing what's right on our land. That's why they said we're back home now.
How's the competition now? I see the show's showing more people, but is the show bringing more people?
Yes,
here?
yes.
Is it making it more difficult?
Yes. This year alone, they had 3,400 alligator fishermen in Louisiana, licensed alligator fishermen. So that's not saying people that's illegal doing it. That's the licensed fishermen that's doing it legal. And so they had 3,400 just last year and this past. So.
And you know, they say competition. I've been doing it for 38 years. My son's been doing it with me for 21 years. They ask us who's the king of the swamp and who's this and all that. We don't think we're king of the swamp, but you know what? You put me side by side, or put my son even side by side against the guys that think they're the best, I guarantee you, if we don't beat them, we'll get them a run for that money. Because just to say if we got to walk into the marsh and put out a line, they're not going to. I tell you right now.
Ain't nobody going to stand side to toe to toe with my dad.
For instance, I'm not going to say no name, for the guy that they call King of the Swamp, that we don't even, when they ask us that he's King of the Swamp, we don't even pay no mind to it, because if he'd have to walk where I'd have to walk at, you would never see the end. You would never see him again, because he would go under that float and he wouldn't come back up. Where I'd be like a squirrel jumping around and going to my line. So I know how to walk the marsh and he doesn't. So that's the difference, So there's a lot of things that we don't talk about, that we just let people believe what they want to believe, but we know who's the king of the swamp, So it's all good. It's all good and fun.
And I think Stacy talked to you guys, but tell us a little bit more. The gator season's 30 days.
Yeah, gator season's only 30 days long. People think it's all year, or
Right.
it's only 30 days. You got from, let's say, from end of August to the end of September, and that's it. There's no extra day. Something like, season right now, I'll give you an example. For the hurricane that hit, 4 days were taken out. They didn't give us them 4 days back. We had to fish the rest, how you said them days, how you said 26 days, that was it. That was a wrap.
And that right there, again, will separate the men and the boys.
Yeah.
If they show everything the right way, the way it was shot this year, the guys that went and get a whole bunch of tags and thought they could fill them all, let me tell you something. Like I said, I've been doing it for 38 years, and this was one of my hardest years to fill all my tags. And I've been fishing alligators for, again, that long. And it's just something that it's in your blood. You want to feel, you don't want to return the tag. It's just a pride game. And I tell you what, this is one of the years that you could ask my son that I was really, we had a big fish kill. We had a cold snap. It was just one thing after another. And if you didn't know what you were doing, you was in trouble. So that's one day experience set in right there. So all the while I was fishing this year, I kept thinking, I said, somebody said, well, we're going to separate the men and the boys. Well, I guarantee you, this year was the year to do it, because I think the only one that showed that tag was the one that knew what they were doing. So it was a rough one.
So how else has the show changed what you guys do down there? I know you're...
Yeah, we used to do a lot of, now with the show we don't have as much time as we would like to have, but hey, guess what? I say we thank the good Lord, the great spirit, for blessing us what we're getting blessed with. Sometimes one door closes, another door opens. And so we used to do a lot of everything was seasonal. Shrimping season would come in, crabbing season, everything would come in. We don't have as much time anymore to do any of them seasons. After Gator season, we on the road doing meet and greets. I mean, how you say, it just changed a different way. It's just, how you said, we had coming out meeting the good fans and meeting everybody, all our friends and family, you know, and having a good time. So just working a different angle.
But meeting, going all around the world and meeting good people, they see how me and my son get along, and they talk their asses about how we get along, and that we still believe in the Lord, and we have the Lord every day with us. And you know, you're teaching your son or your daughter to enjoy the outdoors. That they see that in my son and I. So that I like. We like to travel, and when they ask us about it, they like to meet us one-on-one with their son or their daughter. That makes them feel good. You can see it in their look. So I think that's a good thing. Like you said, when one door closes, another one opens, this is another door to be here in South Carolina, to meet new people, you know, and it's like that everywhere.
We appreciated at PowWows.com having a great set of Native American role models on TV, and seeing how you guys work together is amazing. So
Thank you.
we appreciate you taking some time with us.
No problem.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.